So guys, this is the E30 333 replica that we've built. It's an identical vehicle. So please bear with me. We did not do any videoing during the build and still till today. I've however put a whole lot of photos together to take you through the process of what has been done over the past year so far. Anyway, bought as a shell. Remember, we didn't have anything to start this car with. We had absolutely nothing. So we basically had to pick up bits and pieces here and there, find out, do research, etc., etc. So we found a shell, being a 323 shell, and we sent the shell in basically for bodywork, and as you saw in the pics, that's how it came out. Then we went over to the suspension and drivetrain as well. But every nut and bolt again has been done here, so it's actually a build/restoration vehicle. Obviously the 333's rear suspensions are nothing to brag about, so that was done. Nut and bolt, whatever we could get new was put in new, whatever we couldn't, etc., we restored, and we went with that. Then the front, however, is different. So the new hubs were put in, everything was powder coated, plated, etc., etc. However, we are running the original 333 rotors or discs, as well as calipers. The shocks and springs is a Bilstein and Eibach kit that we ran. So here you can see in this video here all the plating again. With the steering rack was taken apart, that was plated and re-put together again. So original one basically taken apart, made brand new and put together, and I think it came out good. So we done nothing much on the aluminium bits besides for cleaning them up. Here's the calipers here. So this was the rear bracket that we had done, but basically it's almost impossible to find the original front calipers, but we managed to find them, and you'll see in the next video here with the next clip. Here's the fronts here. Coming up, you'll see we moved over to the petrol tank and stuff. That was done, so we've cleaned it up properly. We managed to source a dentless tank. That was done nicely, powder coated, replated, and yeah. These headlights, these are original Hellas that we managed to find brand new, but only on one side. And we had to make up brackets for the other side and slot them in, but every single nut and bolt was done on them as well, because again, when you buy them brand new, the manufacturers now, the colors are a bit wrong. So all the springs were done, everything was done for this vehicle here, and will be done for the rest of the 333s as well. So the same way you see us building this guy here, we'll be restoring the others to this magnitude as well. Again, so here's the pedal assembly that was done as well for the vehicle. Look, I left the pictures for a bit longer just so you could see the detail. Obviously, I didn't have any control of the video, so I'm just trying to patch everything together. But again, everything done, everything plated the way we could. And also we changed a couple of the colors to suit the contrasting colors that we liked as well, and to what the customer liked. So you can have a look here. This is, again, it's every nut and bolt, so I've got a lot of pics here. The Recaro seats as well, they were stripped apart. However, I don't have any pics of them done after the powder coating and plating, but this is the extent that we went through of stripping them up and redoing them before they got recovered in a Napa leather with a fine. It was a Napa leather fine grain, and we opted for cream on this one, and the cream actually suits the car very well. Then we went over to assembling the body. It was a very slow process because we had to learn here and there what had to go where and how it was done. Rubbers, and that was all second hand, basically refreshed rubbers. We had them softened up, cleaned up, and then put back in. The taillights, however, we had to actually buy a vehicle just for the two taillights because we found them fresh on that car. Then anyway, we moved over to the interior, where this is where the wiring was done. This year was actually through the testing phase first. So we basically mocked up the interior in the car and then started testing the wiring and testing each instrument. Here's the carpet going in. So the carpet again is 30-year-old carpet that we basically got looking good. So we basically deep cleaned this carpet over 2 weeks and we got it fresh. There's no smells in it, there's no dust smells in it. It's as clean as we can get it, and it is as good as it can get. The dashboard also reskin dashboard, and that was installed in as well. Here's basically just the nitty gritties of the overhead panel, air check panel, and I want to show you on the sides your A pillars, how we managed to tuck that in and get that in as well. Also here at the bottom is the dorsals. That's new dorsals, basically original news that's bought in, but look at the difference here. Look at what a difference it makes as to try and redoing these. The door rubbers, we waited for almost 9 months for delivery of them as well. The roof liner, we took 2 cars roof liners, so it's original material from BMW back then. We've taken 2 roof liners just to make up one. Here's the A-pillar panels I was telling you about now. So you can look at the gapping and stuff like that. You can see how that was put together. Anyway, we move over to the booth area, and again, it's all second-hand carpets that we found, cleaned up, and it's been cleaned over like a period of almost 2 weeks. And then these pictures basically showing you how far into detail we go into building, where we actually, when we say we touch every nut and bolt, we actually mean that we touch every nut and bolt. The heater box also was taken apart. Again, I don't have any pics of that, but taken apart and put together. The ABS unit was cleaned up and tested and put together with new ABS lines all the way through. You can actually see the window mechanisms redone there as well. Anyway, this is the sunroof that we took down, and this is the before picture of it. It was like a puzzle that we had to try and put together and figure out how it works. But this is the aftermath of how it looks. So we've basically done what we had to do, gone through the whole process, and this is assembled, but we're still missing a clip. There's one clip that's actually missing from it. The interior, the door cards we found original, and we had them re-dyed to match the seats and the interior color. You can see we were still busy here, but this is the interior put together and really came out really, really good. The cream is another color on its own. So moving over to the engine side now, you'll see this is where every Alpina bit was put into place here. So this is the Alpina intake that is specially designed for the 333s, and if I'm not mistaken, for the B6 3.5s as well. Look at the brackets there. That's got your Alpina on it, and these were fabricated in-house. The starter was basically taken apart as well. That was, you can see, we tried to get it as far as possible, where we could powder coat whatever or spray just to get the colors that we wanted to get. The oil filter housing on the 333s are very different to the normal M30s. So just to give you some info on this motor, this is a 3.2 motor with a 89mm bore as to the 535s. So there's it's slash 3 liter 3.3, but it's actually a 3.2 liter. There's a few differences to it. So the 92mm bores which come on the 535 are actually a little different, and they tend to, we find them they tend to run a little bit warmer. So on the 333s, having that small radiator there, and it is the Alpina radiator on this guy as well. I'll try and include the photo in as well. We've got to go with the 89 just to keep the heat on the temperature a bit lower, so the friction between the bores is a bit lower. And there's a couple of tricks to the trade that we had to do just to keep this motor cool down, because once we've started the car up, we actually had a few issues with it overheating, but it actually wasn't anything to do with the radiator or the circulation of the water. It was actually a cracked block, which I'm not too sure if the engineers could have missed or could have happened as they were torquing the cylinder head bolts. However, this motor here, this specific motor, was put together by our engineers. So the short block, which is head block and some, was put together. The rest of the items was all done in-house as well, again, with the powder coating, the color coding, etc, etc. But again, like I told you, we had that crack block issue, so we had to open it up and find out what the issue was. It took us a couple of weeks to do that, but we found out. Here the injectors are the orange injectors, which are actually wrong. The 333s come with a different color injectors and they are hard to find, so we've had to substitute this here for now until I can source original injectors. But this is the side of the motor, so you can see here us putting the motor back basically onto the front suspension and starting to assemble everything else. So the few alpina bits that is very important on the 333s, which is the left and right engine brackets, your radiator tank, obviously your sump is different, your intake is different, your gearbox cross member is different. That is all done here. So the difference in this guy is it's not a lot of people build a 333 replica and they dump a 535, which is a M30 B35 motor, dump that in there with a normal gearbox. This is not the case. This here is everything built to spec as to how 333 was made in South Africa. So having gone through this process here, we've actually found a couple of issues with the information given out on social pages about this car. Anyway, we'll get more into that later. This is the outcome of the vehicle. So she came out very nice. She looks very nice. There's a lot of parts that's available from BM, but some are not available. So you'll find, for example, the chrome trims. Some are available and you'll find two not available. So you cannot go and just buy everything from BMW. You've got to improvise on second-hand and new. This is the outcome of the car. However, during the cut and polish, we found a lot of issues on this vehicle. Here's a video that I made, basically just of the issues found of our previous painter. So he tried to hide a couple of things, but luckily we spotted it before, so we didn't end up taking the car back to metal because we found the issues just on the side here. So just where there was some body putty in, or too much body putty for our liking. And yes, we'd like to take the car apart and redo it, and I will make another video afterwards of it. So having said that, I really wanted to put the slide together. I was actually in a hurry to put it together just to show you guys and share with you guys what has been done. Again, guys, please subscribe to our page, comment, interact with us again, and let us know your thoughts of it. I will be doing a final video on this vehicle, of it driving, etc, etc. By the way, we've got about 250 kilometers on the vehicle before we had to take it down again. So we will be doing it. I will keep you guys updated. It should be in the next month or so. Anyway, take care, guys, and please, again, like and subscribe. And yeah, we'll chat again.